Well, hello, hello, hello. Once again, we are back for another Monday on the Summer Spotlight 2020. Thank you so much for joining me. I am your host, Gayle Nicholson, and I am so very happy to see you today. We are doing a lot here at the Spotlight. We're getting ready to move into fall, and the Summer Spotlight is falling away, so to speak. And I'm really, really excited about what we're coming up with. So, if you happen to be on, let me hit this. Thank you very much,
You're welcome.
Adair. Let's see. So, all right. If you
This
happen to
meeting is
be
being recorded.
watching on Facebook, please give us some give us some hearts. If you make a comment, we may bring that up to discuss on the show. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. We are growing, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. So, one of the reasons that I am so very excited today is that I have a lady to introduce you to that is absolutely phenomenal in making businesses grow. And she's got a brand new book that isn't even out yet. She's in the pre-order process. So let me please introduce you to Miss Terri Levine, Chief Heartrepreneur at heartrepreneur.com. And how are you doing today, Terri?
I'm great. I'm excited to be with you and with your gang and to create some value for them.
Awesome stuff. So Terri is in this challenge to pre-sell. Let's see, how many? 500 copies of your book?
500, yes.
How has that process been so far for you?
Oh my gosh, I've never done a book this way. This is book number 47, and I've never done it where I've done it with crowdsourcing. And in order to do it, you have 4 weeks to pre-sell 500 books in order to get your book in front of top publishers. And most authors, in case people don't know, never even sell 200 copies of their book in a lifetime of the book. So pre-selling 500 in 4 weeks has been a lot to do, yet I know the importance of the book, so we've been doing it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So tell me a little bit about what this particular book is about. Like you said, you've written 46 books before. Is there anything new to talk about?
Yeah, there really is. And here's why I wrote the book. As soon as the pandemic started, we were literally, my company, Entrepreneur, was getting inundated with people saying, I either have to redo my model, I have no clients, patients, or customers, or I'm not sure what to do at this point. I may be out of business. I need a turnaround. And we had over 600 businesses around the world come to us. And I sat down and said, I know what they need to learn. I don't have that in a book, and decided to write the book. So I wrote the book and have been sharing that information in my consulting, in my coaching, in my strategic meetings. And I wanted to get it in the hands of as many business owners as I could. So that's why the book is going to be out there.
Fantastic. You know, like I said before we went live, as I was looking over your stuff, I'm like, oh, I need this book. I need this lady in my life. There's some really, really good stuff that you've got put together. So tell me, what exactly is, I think you're calling it the conversion equation. What does that mean?
So I've had 8 multi-million-dollar businesses in all different industries. And I realize that's because I follow a formula that has been very easy for me to follow. My 6,000 clients who are super successful do the same thing. So it's made of 4 parts. The first part is interrupt. Your target audience is scrolling on social media, they're reading email, whatever. They're not really paying attention. You have to interrupt them with a message that snaps them right up and going, what is that? So that you get their attention. Secondly, after you interrupt them, you need to engage them. Otherwise, they go right back into that like unconscious activity and they stop listening. The third step is educate them, create value, teach them, help them. Don't be pitching at them, which many people do. And the final step, and you have to use all 4, is offer. Make them a low risk or no risk, zero cost or low cost offer of a ridiculous high value. Don't try to get them by a $7 thing or a $9 thing. You can give them a consumer awareness guide. You can give them a video training. So give them something. They shouldn't even have to opt in for it, and create a lot of value for them. And when you use this, it works. You will have people raising their hands and asking to buy from you.
That is awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Some of the most amazing internet marketers that I've seen have gone the route of doing, for example, how do I want to put this? And I have no judgment about it, but they'll bring sex into the equation in, you know, like dressing up like, you know, dungeon masters type of thing. And it, you know, for the right person, if it's authentic, that works. So that, you know, that's the first thing that came to mind when I heard interrupt, right? Because you're definitely, wow, okay, this is, you know, type of thing. What are other ways that people can interrupt that scrolling flow of unconsciousness?
Yeah, and it is unconscious. The human brain is in downtime. It's like when you drive home from somewhere and go, I don't even remember the traffic lights. We're in downtime. So to snap the brain into uptime, it has to speak to me. So if I'm a woman, let's say, who's between 45 and 55 and I want to lose weight, and the message says, attention, are you a woman between 45 and 55 who is ready to take off 10 pounds guaranteed? Here's information for you. Everyone who's not that target audience can go back into downtime. The target audience will go into uptime and say, now, what is this? So the headline needs to call out the right people with the right message. And that's what most people are not doing.
Now, how would you recommend to people that to do that? That's really vague.
I still have an answer.
Good. I'm glad. So yeah, how would that work?
So there's two things that you need to know. First, your business has to have what is called a core unique positioning statement. Core unique positioning statement. That is not an elevator pitch. It's not a USP. It's not, I take your business from A to B really fast, which means nothing. It's jargon. It needs to speak to your exact audience. So I might say, I help struggling female entrepreneurs create a six-figure business guaranteed. That's how it does it. It calls out just that audience with a specific offer and a guarantee. So there's two pieces here. One is you have to have a core unique positioning statement. And the second thing is we have a little device that we use that checks your headline. All my clients have access to it, and make sure your headline goes into this little green category that says that'll wake them up. You can't guess at headlines.
Nice. That does make all the difference in the world, the headlines that you've got on things. For a while there, as I was learning this whole process, I would sign up for everybody's lead magnet because I wanted to see what their email process was. And even to this day, I have emails that I haven't opened, you know, anything from this person in months, maybe even years. And then they might do one headline that gets me. And I open it and I realize I haven't paid any attention to this guy for a long time. Headlines do make all the difference in the world in open rates. Now, headlines notwithstanding, what are some of the primary reasons why small businesses tend to fail? Do they just not know about this?
We don't. I'm amazed at how many marketing agencies, how many business consultants, coaches, they're just randomly throwing things up against the wall and hoping, like, you know, spaghetti, it's al dente, it'll stick. It's not how it works. You're throwing darts. And I see too many businesses not only spending a lot of time, but spending a lot of money and energy. Their marketing isn't proven. They're just maybe this. Oh, Instagram didn't work. Let me go to Facebook. That didn't work. That's not how you do marketing. Marketing is proven, it's formulaic, and it's systematic. And so you need to make sure that you understand how to do marketing, and that no matter what your business is, your job isn't to be the chiropractor or the coach or the author or the attorney or anything else. Your job is to be the marketer of those services. And this is why I really advocate that you learn conversion equation and learn it fast, because all these mistakes that people are making are taking a lot of potential prospects away from them. That's their problem.
Nice, nice. And a lot of people don't realize that. I mean, you wear an awful lot of hats as a small business solopreneur, heartpreneur. Yeah, that marketing hat is primary, because if you don't wear that one first and foremost, there's no one to serve.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, when we get into that marketing, first of all, I'm sure you would agree with this. There's a difference between marketing and sales, right? They're
Yep,
two
100%.
different disciplines. So when you're marketing, how do you keep from getting too salesy?
Great question. So I don't even look at sales. And let me explain that. I used to be a national sales director for a major company, so I certainly know how to sell. However, I gave that up a long time ago. I wrote a book called Selling Without Selling: Lessons from the Jungle for Sales Success. I literally don't sell. We instead use the conversion equation. And what happens is what I call reverse marketing. So people see my messages. Maybe they're watching a video. Maybe I'm doing a free training. Maybe I'm doing a webinar, whatever it is. And if they're interested, they raise their hand. I don't go after them. I don't go hunt for them. They raise their hands. So like just so far today, it's on a Monday, right? I have 17 prospects. I'm not looking for anyone. They're raising their hand either in an opt-in form on my website, leaving a comment on a video, sending an email, a message on a social media platform saying, hey, I think I can use your help. So I'm not going to sell them. I want to make this really clear. I will chat with them to see whether or not we can help them. And if we can, I just extend my hand and say, would you like help? I don't overcome their objections. I don't talk them into anything. So I'd like people, believe it or not, to forget about selling. Be a heartrepreneur, engage in heart-to-heart conversations. You'll have all the business that you can handle.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful stuff. What about when people have, like, this is one of the challenges that I've dealt with myself personally. All right. You're wanting to be of service. You're getting out there. You're marketing, right? And you're making the offer. You're even asking for the work. But there's something in the way that gets, like, you can't receive it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Glad you brought that up. So whenever a client comes on with me, they're like ready. They have their notebook and they're like, okay, give me the business advice. I'm like, no, first we're going to work on your inner game. They're like, what? So I'm a clinical psychologist as well as a business strategist. And I know I'm also a master life coach and all that. You have to start with your own beliefs, your own thoughts, your own emotions, and your own feelings. What is, quote, blocking many people is what's here. And they think it's a lack of prospects. And I'm like, no, it isn't. You have something here, and we've got to move past that quickly, really fast. So then you can open-heartedly just say, hey, I would love to help you, and invite people to do that. And I want the audience to remember something. This is how I think of making an offer. If you came to my house, which hopefully we can travel again someday, I would open the door and I would say, would you like something to drink? And if you said no, I certainly wouldn't take that personally. Maybe you're not thirsty. Maybe you had something to drink. That would be the end of it. However, I would make the offer and extend my hand. And that's as far as we need to go in sales. Just make sure you make an offer authentically from your heart. It wouldn't be authentic for me to interrupt with some sexual thing like we talked about in the beginning. It would be worth it to me to interrupt and say, struggling, frustrated entrepreneur, and get your attention. Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, tell me a little bit more about what you define as a heartpreneur, or heartrepreneur, I should say.
Yeah, heartrepreneur. Glad you asked. So I was writing a book for a publisher. This has to be about maybe 8 years ago. And it was all about how to do marketing. It was more like a textbook. And he had me go to New York for one of our update meetings. And the book is like 80% written. And we're sitting in the meeting. He takes the manuscript and goes, I don't want this book. And I have a contract, right, for the book. I'm like, what is going on here? He said, Terri, I've known you for 11 years and you're a entrepreneur. I want that book. And I'm like, I'm a what? Like, I just like, what are you talking about? He said, you don't do transactions. You have this authentic way of just offering and really listening to people. Write me that book. So that was in New York. At the time I was living in Philadelphia. So I had to take a train back home. It was a long trip. And the whole trip I'm going, what? And all of a sudden, by the time I got home, like, it was like I could have had a V8. I got it. I'm like, that is what I do. I'm going to write that book. And so I started what I call the Entrepreneur Cause. It's a cause. We've got about 5,000 people in it right now that are helping people learn to do business without selling, just being authentic and following conversion equation. And not only are they making more money, which is fabulous, and wealth is important, they're actually feeling so happy about their businesses and their lives. That brings me great joy.
Right. And that isn't that why we go into the entrepreneurial life to begin with? Because we want to enjoy our lives. We want to profit in all areas, whether it's connection, community, wealth, whatever it may be. Yeah, that's. I love that you've got a whole community of people that are just giving amongst each other. That's amazing stuff. Now, tell me a little bit more about this book, what you're going to have in it. Is it just explaining those 4 parts that you were talking about, or is there a little more to it?
There's actually a lot more to it. So before I wrote the book, I dissected my business, the formula, and then I took about, it had to be 20 of my client family members, and I took their businesses apart. Where were you when you started? Then what did we do? Then how did we get to your first million? How do we get to 3 million? And then I wrote the book. And so not only did I teach conversion equation, I teach reverse marketing, selling without selling. I teach core unique positioning statement. I literally teach every single thing. And then what I really am happy about with the book is because I took my actual client family members, and I have 444 different industries, I weave in examples all over the book. So you can read the book and you go, oh, that one is like me. Oh, that one's like me. And you will have actual examples of how they took the information. I even have chapters that give you my exact letters, my exact templates, and you're free to use any of it. It's all there for you. Really, it's a gift.
That sounds phenomenal. Now, explain to me how people can go and get this or pre-order this book.
Sure. So first I'll tell you that you can pre-order the book right now. And when you do, number one, it is a tax donation because it is going to a foundation for children. Number two, every copy of the book comes with bonuses. If you get 1 copy, you get a bonus. You get 5 copies, you get a huge bonus. 10 copies, bigger, and it goes on from there. So it is crowdfunded, which means I only have a few more days to reach my numbers. And then when the book gets published, you get all the goodies. So it's over at Publishizer. So it's the word publish, then IZER, publishizer.com/conversion-equation. And I'm doing something very special right now. First time I'm saying it out loud, Gayle. If you join my group on Facebook, Entrepreneurs with Terri Levine, and you have bought 5 copies of the book, you'll get an invoice number and just say, I got 5 and give me the invoice number. You actually will be one of my star people for the month of October who will get to go live every single week in my group, teaching, creating content, creating value, and making offers. So I can only do it for 5 people, and it's the first 5 people in get it.
That is an excellent bonus. I highly recommend that everyone who is watching today needs to go get that. Do 5 copies. I'm sure it's not going to be all that expensive, but the bonuses that you're going to get are amazing. Amazing stuff. I mean, yeah, to be just to be able to do trainings and make an offer in front of your audience. Oh, my goodness, what an opportunity. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, exciting.
Very cool. Now, let me kind of delve into a little bit about what's been going on for you since the coronavirus, COVID-19, Twilight Zone. we've been living in.
Yeah,
Because this
just
particular show was created out of that exactly. When my husband came in from the man cave and said they shut down spring training, you could have seen a little mushroom cloud come out of my head. And spring training's no big deal, but when you live in the midst of a half a dozen spring training facilities and you Airbnb your house, it's a
mm,
slightly bigger deal, right? But I wanted to be able to create a space that online entrepreneurs could come and talk about what they do, what they have to offer and how they can help. And I have met so many amazing people since then because of it, including you. Now, I know that this book came out of that situation for
yeah.
you. How else have things been going since March? It's been, what, 6 months now? Yeah, how you doing?
So I'm actually doing really well. I live three different places. I live in New Jersey part of the time. Right now, I'm at the beach in New Jersey. I live outside of Philadelphia, and I live in Mexico, and my home there about 4 months out of the year. So I came home from Mexico in the beginning of April, and I figured, oh, we'll be shut in for a couple of weeks. Big deal. I said, wow, it's 6 months. And here's what happened. Within about 14 days, literally, we were inundated with leads. By the second week, my team got up on a Monday morning and we had 77 leads that came in over that weekend. 77. Now, normally we have maybe on a weekend 7. So we all got together and said, what can we do? I mean, we can't, fix it for the whole world, but we know there's businesses that need help. So I have probably been the busiest I've been in my entire 43-year career. My husband understands. People are like, why doesn't Terri take it easy? He's like, that's just how she is. She's going to help and she feels the need. So my team and I, we brought on new members. We started new programs. As you said, the book came out of that. And I'm writing a lot of reports. I'm doing a lot of video training, all for free, especially in my community, just to keep helping and giving. So the only thing I will add to that is, so if I have bags under my eyes, the audience hopefully will understand.
They're well-earned bags. Those are
Yeah.
those are Louis Vuitton bags.
Oh, I love that.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. So, what else are you up to next?
Great question. I'm normally a keynote speaker. In fact, I was supposed to be in 9 different countries in 2020, and of course, that's not happening. So, what I'm really looking at is how I can take my typical speaking engagement, which is very hands-on, very interactive, huge audience participation, and really convert it better. We're working on it. It's getting better and better. It's not the same exact thing on Zoom or whatever, and modifying how we teach and how we interact. So we've done several experiments, one where we had a lot of Zoom breakout rooms, and that was chaos. We've had a couple where we've taken smaller audiences, and the next thing we're going to do is as a free challenge, and we want to just experience as many people as we can and help them, and that's where we're going next. I love participating in challenges, so this time I'll be giving the challenge.
That's awesome. I can't wait until you do, because that will be a good one, I'm sure. I love challenges. I get so much accomplished that I didn't think that I could ever do during challenges. So wonderful stuff. Let's see. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about today?
Just one other thing. If you're an author, or if you're an aspiring author, having been an author for so many years and having been published by major publishing houses, they tell me that most authors in the career of their book, the lifetime of their book, never sell 200 books. So the fact that we're close to 500, we'll make our 500, I'm sure. If you're curious, well, how do you sell 500 books? How do you pre-sell? This book isn't even published. How do you pre-sell 500? I will probably be sharing that information and teaching that and probably doing it all for free. So if you're curious about that sort of thing, raise your hand and let me know, because I really want to help authors as well. Most authors cannot sell books. You can become an Amazon bestseller without selling very many books, not 500. And so I just want to share that and help as many people as I can in the process, Gayle.
Excellent. Now, how can people reach out to you to receive that help?
So the best way is my Facebook group. I'm super active with my community, which is a group called Heartrepreneurs with Terri Levine. And when you join, just go into the resources. First of all, you'll see a ton of free resources, free tools. And then if you've purchased your 5 copies of Conversion Equation, which I hope you have, just give me the invoice number and then I'll make arrangements for you to be featured teaching content every single week in October, so my group will get to know you, trust you, like you, and you can make them offers as well.
Phenomenal stuff. Thank you so much for that. Do you have any final thoughts for our viewers today?
Yes. Please make sure that if you're listening to anyone on sales, marketing, business growth, that you vetted the person. Like, I have a offer which is 200% ROI guaranteed. I don't know anyone else who does that. I do that because I want people to know I'm the real deal. So I don't know who you might be listening to or buying from. And I only say it because a lot of clients have come to me after they spent a lot of money on courses and people who really weren't helpful. And I want the best for you.
Phenomenal. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Terri. I really appreciate it. I wish you the best, and I will be buying my copy of the Conversion Equation.
Thank you so much. It was great to be with you.
Have a great day. Take care, everyone. When you open energy work, makes that recovery progress so much faster. That recovery is possible. You do not have to live as a victim until your last days. You have unbelievable strength, and I know that because you're still here. Do you want to create something completely unrecognizable with your life? I can show you how.